Good morning. It's Lee Cassidy from Tactile Technology, and we've got our follow-up with our Meet the Speakers for our event next week on the 21st. So we've got Erikjan Franssen from Diamanti joining us from a lovely part of the world, it looks like. Very spring-like weather looking over the back of your shoulder.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. Yeah, so I'm actually in a place that is furthest away from digital transformation, in the middle of the forest, talking about digital transformation. So that's interesting. It's actually because I'm
That sounds
solving
good.
some broadband, some digital issues in my own home. So my own digital transformation didn't work that well. I'm solving some broadband issues. So that's why I'm
I
here.
think all of us are challenged by technology at some point in our lives.
Yeah, there you
Some
go.
more than
There you go.
others.
There
So
you go.
tell us a little bit about yourself so people understand you as a speaker first.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Erikjan Franssen, which is for most of the audience a bit of a tongue twist. So most you can address me as Eric. I have been in and around the IT industry for about 15 years, of which 11 inside of HP, HPE, and Micro Focus. Developed a ton of experience in all areas of the digital world, starting in IT operations management, application delivery management, went into security, ended up in big data, and I've now been with Diamanti for the past 18 months, running the EMEA operation for Diamanti.
Okay. So are there any particular key areas that you've focused on, say, in the last 12 to 18 months with Diamanti?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we believe that with Diamanti, because we have effectively our operations platform, but focused on delivering applications through containers and orchestrating that through Kubernetes. I feel that we've been at the heart of some of the digital transformation challenges that are around. Examples are a digital transformation of the know your customer element of a large Italian bank. Another example is preparing a telco for a 5G rollout. So a different area of digital transformation. And then anything in the middle, private cloud providers looking to provide container services, and most of those is retailers looking to get more agile and more better systems of interaction with their customers, uh, helping larger banks in getting through a singular experience in deploying applications throughout all the cloud providers. So yeah, most of those areas: application delivery, containerization, and cloud.
So tell us a little bit about your session then. So it talks about doing things with ease, and it's really focused at how to utilize cloud native and containers with a simple way of deploying. Because I do know from experience that some people are quite challenged with deploying containers, and it also depends on which route they take as well. Because there are a number of options out there around containers. So normally we'd see people taking anything between 6 and 8 months to get up to speed and get enough experience in the business to be able to go into production. So, what would you say, that your session's going to cover that helps with that?
Yeah. So my session will mostly talk about. So let's start at the beginning of the digital transformation, right? What we try to do in our organizations is adopt what I would say an agile model, right? And an agile delivery model, because we wanted to deliver applications faster, and we wanted to deliver components of applications faster, and we wanted to accelerate the deployment because the market was disrupting us, right? Financials are
Yeah.
disrupted by fintech, the taxi drivers were disrupted by Uber, and there's tons of examples, and these all have been. But what you see is, in order to support that agile delivery, there's a whole framework around it with containerization of applications, in order to containerize applications and to be able to deliver those Lego blocks one piece at a time, right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is that in order to do that, all of these projects, and most application delivery projects, started as open source projects. And with open source projects, there are so many contributions of so many intelligent people, is that even though the framework was there to simplify itself and simplify the application delivery and simplify the application build, it actually made it more complex. So if you try to do that yourself, you try to build up the application delivery framework around containers, and you start experimenting with containers and then the Kubernetes orchestration layer, you'll find a ton of complications, things that have to be set. I'll name examples. It's about the persistency of storage. It's about persistency of networking, network settings, how the container behave, a network citizen, security. So there's a whole array of issues that you have to find out yourself in order to be successfully delivering applications in containers. And that is not only with stateless applications, which are quite easy to be honest, but then start pulling in the data as well, and it gets even more complicated.
Yeah, and I think that's where most people with this next phase of digital transformation are looking to achieve stateful applications using databases and other forms of data within their applications, and that's where the challenge lies.
Yeah, and then added to that comes a whole new element. Years ago, it was started already, but it comes the new promise of cloud, right? And promise of cloud providers and deploying across clouds. Well, in my mind, locking yourself into a singular cloud provider is not the basis of digital transformation, because that is not an agile delivery method. It's just the IBM services route, but then of the future, right? Then now it's named Google Services, or it's named Amazon Services, or it's named Azure Services, right?
Yeah,
so to be able to deliver applications with a singular experience, but still have the agility to move around between different infrastructure options or different places where you deploy your application is very important. Because effectively what you're looking for an optimal performance, an optimal price with the right level of security. And there's always one element that has to give, right? And so per application, per system that you're deploying, you need to make that decision as you go along.
And what I've noticed with a lot of organizations, I'll get up to 4 or 5 nodes in a cluster, and that's where they stop, because it starts to get complicated once you get beyond that point. And also, people are struggling when they're using multiple public cloud offerings, because they're very different interfaces to manage as well. So I use the analogy of having cars with the manual cars with the clutch, brake, and accelerator in a different order each time. So each time you get in, it takes a while for you to get used to it, even though it's simple, but it slows you down, and it goes against that agile development and deployment piece that people are trying to achieve.
And that's why Kubernetes, or if you type in Kubernetes on LinkedIn, it's still a badge of honor, right? Everybody has some form of AI off or Kubernetes or cloud on their LinkedIn. But if effectively you look around in the world, the amount of Kubernetes clusters that have more than 5 servers in the enterprise space is very, very low. If you want to have large Kubernetes clusters and want to see them run, go and look at the new agile fintech, marketech, adtech type of companies, because they have built that up from scratch and they know how this technology works. But for the rest of us, we need a simplification method in order to help them to deploy it.
That's it. No. Well, thanks ever so much for your time today. We just wanted to give everyone a bit of an idea of what your session was going to be about, and also a quick introduction to the speaker as well. So thank you very much, and thank you for the wonderful view we're getting to see as well. It looks very, very pretty in Holland today.
Yeah, it's a nice day finally. So, and looking forward to the session next week, and looking forward to meeting everybody at the audience on the session as well. Thanks, Lee.
All right. Thanks ever so much. Bye. So if you haven't already registered, you can register for the event. It's on the 21st. I'll put a link into the bottom of this this post as well, so you can get to that. It's free of charge. It starts at 1 p.m. on the 21st and runs till 6 p.m. We've got three great speakers doing keynotes, and we've got options of 3 different breakout sessions and 3 sets of those. So there's lots of things that you can see. So please, if you get a chance, register and join us next week on the 21st. We're focusing this as an educational piece around what you can do with digital transformation and how it can affect your business. So please join us. Thank you very much.